Well, Dennis, now that we know the problem and the situation and what's happening in our fuel tanks, what can we do about it?
Well, Bill, the first thing we've got to do is we've basically got to treat the fuel. We've got to figure out somehow to get rid of the water. And the best way I've found is just to show you a comparison of what some of the traditional fuel treatments that are on the market that are petroleum-based versus the product that we manufacture, which is not petroleum-based. So what I've done here is to simulate some small fuel tanks, I've just taken some small glass bottles and I've added some Sentry to this one, some Tarpon to this product, and some Sta-Bil to this product. Now, to see what they do with water, it's quite simple. I'm just going to add some water to it and see what happens. We'll add about half an ounce or so of water to each one. Sentry. Tarpon. And Sta-Bil. Now, to give all these guys the benefit of the doubt, we're going to go ahead and cap these up. Give them a little shake. Kind of agitating them as if you would if you had them in your tank or your boat going down the road, heading to the boat ramp, out in the water, bouncing over some wakes. And we'll see that even after some relatively good agitation, if you allow them to set, we start seeing separation. And what we've got here is a clear separation, two distinct products. We've got the same thing forming in the Sta-Bil jar. And in the Sentry jar, we have one clear, solid solution. No separation whatsoever. So now, just to figure out what's in these jars, we'll use what they call an industry standard water detecting paste. Okay, it's used by all petroleum companies and gas stations and everything to test the fuel tank for water. And what it is just a small little smear of brown that turns red when it comes in contact with water. It turns a vibrant pink. And we'll do all three of these. Well, it's going to be kind of hard to do.
Well, it's pretty clear, Dennis, in looking at these.
Yep, as you can see, this one's turning pink around the edges and stuff, and as the treatment that's gotten on it wears off, it'll turn bright pink.
You can obviously easily see the separation there.
Yeah, you can see the separation. And in this one, you see no separation. So basically what we've determined here is the Tarpon hasn't done anything for the water, Sta-Bil hasn't done anything for the water, the Sentry has done something. And what the Sentry has done is it has encapsulated the water and turned it into a component of a combustible liquid. Everything that's in this jar will mix with the fuel and burn. Everything that's in here will never mix with the fuel. I don't care how much you shake it, how much you agitate it. You can't get that water to mix with the fuel. That water is always going to be at the bottom of the tank, and it will plug up the filters and everything else. Same with the Sta-Bil. It just sets at the bottom. So that's the distinct advantage we have over the other products as being non-petroleum based. We can deal with the water in a much better way than any petroleum-based product can.
The EPA, Dennis, is now allowing E15. We used to have E10, which means may contain up to 10% ethanol. Now they're going 5 more to up to 15% ethanol in the fuel. We had problems with 10. The extra 5 up to 15's really got to cause some problems.
Bill, you're exactly right. The extent of the problems I don't think is fully understood yet, but you have to take into consideration it's a 50% increase in ethanol, and that's a lot. So I think the first thing you're going to see is the lack of lubrication in the motors. You're going to see pumps dying faster, you're going to see injectors dying faster. You're putting more of an additive in to cause the fuel to burn hotter, so you're going to see more problems with burnt pistons, and especially in your two-stroke motors, because the ethanol leans out the oil mixture, and it's just going to compound itself. One of the big fights that's still going on is with the marine industry, engine manufacturers, and the EPA. Now, I don't know if that one's been resolved yet or not, but it very well could be. But E15 is going to just create more issues than E10. What they are, not totally sure.
Now, what about, I've seen some signs that in different places, marinas, and then also off-road places that say non-ethanol gas. What about that fuel?
Well, there is a gas being produced that's referred to as recreational fuel. And my understanding, the initial design of it was to be used in the off-road industry, marine, four-wheel drive, stuff like this that you don't drive on the highway. Apparently, through a loophole, they're selling it for on-highway use. The problem is, many of the things we've tested, we've found ethanol in it. And one of the big issues is the transportation. It's being blended and cross-blended just because it's being delivered by a truck that maybe the day before delivered all ethanol gas. He had a few hundred gallons of ethanol gas in the tank. He adds another 300 gallons of non-ethanol gas. You got a small percentage of ethanol. So is it really non-ethanol gas? I mean, is it really worth that extra 70 cents a gallon?
Hard to say. So the safety, if you want to be safe about it or conservative, is no matter where you get your fuel, it's probably a good idea to put some fuel treatment in it, some Sentry Fuel treatment in it.
Yes, Bill, it definitely is an idea. Sentry's the better one on the market because it's non-petroleum. You have to even look at it, you watch television, and the oil companies themselves are selling additives. We got Techron, we've got nitrogen, we've got oil companies saying buy our fuel and put our additives in it. So I guess that indicates there's definitely a need for additives.